からトークセッションに移らせていただきます。では、まずは本日の登壇者の皆様をご紹介させていただきます。まずは本日のゲスト、元プロ野球選手のカルロス・ポンセさんです。ポンセさん、よろしくお願いします。
はい。
そしてもう一方、元プロ野球通訳士の青木レオナルド健さんです。レオさん、お願いします。
皆さん、こんばんは。よろしくお願いします。
ありがとうございます。そしてファシリテーターは一般社団法人スポーツマネジメント通訳協会会長の小林至さんです。小林さん、よろしくお願いします。
はい、よろしくお願いいたします。はい、ではここからは英語でさせていただきます。Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining today's webinar titled What Makes a Trusted Sports Interpreter? Insights from former baseball star Carlos Ponce.I am Itaru Kobayashi, your moderator for this session. We are honored to have two special guests with us today. Mr. Carlos Ponce, a former professional baseball player who made an indelible mark on Japanese baseball with the Yokohama Tiger Whales, and Mr. Leonard Ken Aoki,a former professional baseball interpreter. Mr. Ponce is a two-time RBI leader, a home run champion, and was selected for the best nine, especially in 1988. He achieved a remarkable feat of winning both the home run and RBI titles, solidifying his legacy in baseball history. Mr. Ponce is joining us all the way from Florida, where it is currently about 7 o'clock in the morning, right?
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here with us so early in the day. We truly appreciate it.
It is my pleasure.
By the way, Leo-san, please feel free to cut in anytime you feel like.
Okay.
Your perspective as a professional interpreter will undoubtedly enrich our discussion.
Okay. Thank you.
Especially if any question comes in Japanese from the participants, please help translate them for us. And also the Spanish thing.
Okay.
Yeah, together we will explore what it takes to be an outstanding sports interpreter from the perspective of players who've worked closely with them. Let's dive right in. Okay, Mr. Ponce.
Yes.
I'd like to start with your first experience working with an interpreter when you first came to Japan. I believe a team interpreter was assigned to you. Do you remember the moment you first met that interpreter? What was that encounter like?
Well, that was in 1986.
Mm-hmm.
And that year, that was my first time. And when I arrived at Japan, that's when I met my interpreter. His name is Yoshi.
Yoshi.
Yep. At the airport. And that was the first time in Japan and in that moment. So I was just having a good expectative, especially physical. So that was the first time I met Mr. Yoshi. So I didn't know what to expect at that time.
Okay. Was that your first visit to Japan?
In 1986, yes, that's when I first.
Okay. What was your first impression of the interpreter when you met him, right?
Okay. Then now this time I'm gonna say it in Spanish. It's
Okay, please. Ken-san,
Okay.
please help me.
Kenzo, la persona Yoichi pareció agradable y muy cordial y atento. Okay. Lo más que me impresionó prácticamente fue que siempre estaba listo a mi lado y tratando de mejorar posiblemente aunque, yeah, that's pretty much.
第一印象がですね、すごく良くてですね、とにかく、もう見た目、話した感じものすごくしっかりしてる人だなっていう印象でした。もう本当、仕事でもそうなんですけれども、常に、横にいて、私のケアをしていただきました。
Do you know his background?
Well,
Was he
don't
working
know.
for the Tire Wells, or was he just assigned as an interpreter for you?
Yeah, I can answer that one. When he was working for the organization, I don't think he was an interpreter, but he knew English, so that he was assigned to me. Well, actually, not just to me, but others players, foreign players.
Jim Pachorek?
No. Pachora was after.
Oh, okay. Did you feel they were proficient in English?
Okay, this one I'm going to say in Spanish because it's a little bit complicated. So,
Please.
Aoki, me parecía un poco nervioso y no muy seguro de sí mismo. Era una buena persona, pero no tenía ese set. En mi opinión, Yoichi no era lo suficientemente proficiente. En mi opinión, Yoichi era en el idioma inglés y se lo dificultaba expresar y asistir nuestras respuestas. Una vez que él hablaba, no entendía prácticamente lo que estábamos.
その質問に対してですね、本当、その当時、ヨシさんっていう方がですね、通訳でついたんですけれども、もう本当、人としてはすごく良くてですね、もう本当、文句言うことはないんですけれども、ただ、言葉の部分ですね、あるいは自分の、表現の仕方だったりとか、自分たち選手同士が、伝えたいことっていうのは、多分うまく理解はしていなかったんですよね。そこがやっぱりそのコミュニケーションの中では少し、戸惑ったというところはありました。
If that's the case, have you asked the team to replace him with somebody else?
Well,
I know he's a good guy, but
No.
you are professional. Both have
Yes.
to be a professional, right?
The first time, of course, I thought he was going to be a good guy, but we realized that it wasn't. He was too nervous. You can look at it and see the way he's acting, and he had issues with the language. He didn't pick up what we were saying. So they have to, we have to remind him again over and over. Now, on the second year, this one I'm going to say in Spanish. A partir de mi segundo año, tuve otro intérprete, Aoki, el señor Akira. We used to call him Akira-san. Okay. Quien tenía mucho mejor preferencia en el inglés y era más relajado, se expresaba y me entendía mucho mejor.
2年目からですね、アキラさんっていう通訳に変わってですね、本当はこの方に変わってから、やっぱり自分の、そのコミュニケーションだったり、自分が言いたいこと、伝えたいことは常に理解してもらって、明らかに、前の通訳とは全然違うっていうのはものすごく感じたところですね。 もう本当リラックスしている様子でもそうですし、もう本当、何言ってもこう理解していただいたので、ものすごく良かったです。
Got it. By the way, who scouted you? Ushigome-san?
Uchigome-san, yes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's a good guy.
Well, he was.
He
I'm
was.
sorry. He
And
was.
I'm sorry. I know he
He's,
he passed away. Please.
No. It's just that I wanted to added something else as the fact I never thought about coming to Japan. I didn't know anything about the league. But when I was in AAA, with the Milwaukee Brewers, I met Ushigome-san, and at the time, our director, minor league director, was there. So we took pictures in 1984. Okay, so okay, that was it. Now we went back in '95. We met Ushigome-san, the same place in Arizona. We were playing against the Astros, and he took more pictures. So then in that same year, I went to the big leagues. And then in 86, I went home, 85, after the season was over. But I didn't realize I got a call from my scout that if I wasn't interested in signing with the Yokohama. So it was a nice story. I said, wow.
Did you know anything about the Japanese baseball back then?
Not much, no.
So you were not that interested in coming to Japan in the first place?
Well, because the reason why it's because I didn't know. See, I was more focused on being the big leagues, and so.
And you made it.
Yeah. So I didn't know that there was a big league until I met with one of our old players who played for Yokohama. The guy was from Puerto Rico, Felix Millan.
Oh yeah, he's famous. He played for the Yomiuri Giants too.
Yeah, so Felix Millan. That's how I knew about Japan. I was lucky. I was lucky.
Jim Patrick came from a Milwaukee organization.
Yes.
Was that the coincidence, or because of you, he signed with Yokohama?
No, well, no. I just find out that the Milwaukee Brewers had a working agreement with Yokohama.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I did not know anything about that because not only Felix Millan, you had Pachorik, and then Sisto Lescano. But Sisto Lescano was only about a month old, and then he got fired. And other players from the organization. So it was not. It was just no coincidence.
Got it. It was a question I had for a long time.
Now you know the story.
Resolved. Yeah, that's great. Okay, back to the interpreter. What kind of tasks or responsibilities did you ask of your interpreter? I mean, maybe it's not just on the field, sometimes off the field. So there's some kind of like boundaries. Here, I take it, but from this here on, you help me. Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, please.
Okay, I'm going to say this in Spanish.
Please.
Okay. Entiendo que mi intérprete deportivo no solo debe saber proficiente en el idioma, sino también tener buen conocimiento del argot deportivo o del deporte. En cuestión de, también debe tener conocimiento de las expresiones idiomáticas en inglés y otra cultura del atleta. Definitivamente debe tener una habilidad de escuchar y interpretar lo más preciso posible.
本当自分としてはいつも常に思ってたことは、やっぱりその通訳っていうのは、何を頼むか頼まれるかっていうんじゃなくてですね、その通訳ってまず、言葉だけじゃなくてですね、やっぱりその理解力だったりとか、スポーツのことであったりとか、表現の仕方、あるいは例えば言語っていうのはやっぱりちょっとしたことで、やっぱり勘違いする部分もあるので、その伝え方っていうのはやっぱり理解することって十分気をつけないといけないところと、あとリスニングとかですね、理解力っていうのはやっぱりしとかないといけないので、何をそのグラウンド内外って思ったことは、第一としてはやっぱりその人に理解してもらうことは第一に、思ってたことです。
That was a great insight. Thank you, Mr. Ponce.
Thank you.
Was there anything particularly memorable about interaction with interpreters? For example, positive experience, negative experience during games, before and after games, or in private settings?
Well, I did my first guy, my first interpreter. Yeah, we had issues as far as trying to relate the message to the organization or the managers, so and so. So that was our concern. I mean, I know that these interpreters, they're trying to do their best, but let me just explain this here as far as that. I'm going to say it in Spanish because this is pretty much a long path. Es the fact, Aoki, sumamente importante que el intérprete tenga un algo grado de proficiencia, ¿ok? En el inglés y en el idioma que pueda interpretar. Es ideal si pudiese esa persona vivir al menos unos meses en los Estados Unidos o en otro país. ¿Ok?
No, pero lo que le estamos preguntando es qué le gustó, o sea, qué memoria tuvo con su traductor, cosas buenas, cosas malas durante el juego, antes del juego, después del juego.
Ok. Yo tuve muy buena.
Si quieres se lo dice en inglés, está bien.
Okay. I had a good relationship with Akira-san.
Okay.
That was my second one. He was very knowledgeable. Okay, and he was able to create and use the language, especially where I know for a fact that back in the days, sometimes we have issues because the first interpreter, we talked to them, but he didn't explain the way we wanted to be.
Okay.
So so that's the reason why he was not efficient, as an interpreter. Now with Akira-san, we had a great relationship to the point that he came to the U.S. and I'm his son godfather.
Wow, that's
so we had a good. He was very smart, and even though he came from the Yokohama front office, he was a little bit above the other ones. Smart, efficient, and never say no, and he was pretty much a guy that said, Carlos, don't say this, well, let's go over here. He was telling me, and that's why I followed him. And so he was like a son for us.
Wow. So he helped you to blend into the Japanese culture.
Exactly.
So what does he do now?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It's been so many years. We kind of lost time, time,
Right.
and but we love him. Even my wife, and that's why my success in Japan was easier because he would tell me things, Carlos. This is how it is, and he was explaining to us, so we knew. To continue, the path to that, So that's it. He was a very, very smart guy.
That's why you succeeded.
That's why I succeeded. And but when you mentioned succeeded, even though I came to Japan and I accepted to play there with Yokohama, my mind was already set. There was no, and unfortunately, we've seen some gaijins, they came the first year and they start complaining so much.
Yeah.
At that time, I said,
them.
So that's not the way to approach. So I said, okay, Mama, that's my wife. This is how we're going to be, no matter what. This is my job. And we're going to do my best just to go out there. I heard foreigners talking from one side and go to the other side. I was not. I was there for a reason. So
there was a bird in Roppongi, Nicola. Roppongi bird, where lots of international players get together after the game on the off day. And do you know that Mr. Robert Whiting, Bob Whiting?
Yes.
Yeah, Bob Whiting tell me he's a good friend of mine and tell me a lot of stories about complaining in Roppongi and the wider strike zone, studying the wider strike zone and the cultural difference and the long good practice session and so on. But looks like everybody who was successful in Japanese baseball learned to adjust. Adapt. It's different baseball, but it just take it and go with it. Is that right?
That's right. I went to Roppongi for the only time in 5 years there, one time, and it was because we were in the area at that time. Right? And yes, you're absolutely right. You heard some always complaining. I said, and I'm like, okay, here we go again. So they're complaining, to be successful, you can listen to them, but you can't avoid that. It's not, people don't realize the opportunity to get. My opportunity came in Japan, and being successful, and I have so many good days and memories, and then that's why I still going over there. So
you're still very famous. Everybody remember that your famous song, Vamos Ponce. Vamos Ponce.
And then I got the name of what's the name of the Mario, Super Mario.
Super Mario. Yep. That's true. Yeah. Oh, back to the massage thing. What's up with the massage? The Japanese players love massages. Probably you don't. You didn't.
Yeah.
That was the story.
When we were there. I had no idea about what they call it the acupuncture. Acupuncture.
Oh, acupuncture! Wow, that must have been scary.
Yeah, no, but it was scary. It was scary. I go for the first time. Okay, let's go. Boy, I thought they were killing me. I was like that, and then they started putting those needles, and oh my! But at the end, I start you going. And boy, they were just getting a good massage. It is. There's a story in the States too. Is that, have you ever got acupuncture? So,
yeah, I did, but without a proper explanation, it is scary, especially for the athletes.
Yeah.
Well, let me put it this way: the trainers have very strong tongue.
Yeah.
Boy, and that was, but once you get used to it, it's easy. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you love it.
Oh yeah.
Okay. About adaptability. I mean, was this in your nature because you are from Puerto Rico, right?
Yes.
So you experienced some kind of a cross-cultural thing even in the United States.
Yes.
Did that experience help you to adjust in Japanese baseball, or it's just in your nature? Or Akira-san helped you a lot about this?
Well,
a little bit of everything.
Yeah. As far as Japan, yeah, Akira-san helped me. And, taking, around, explain to me the culture, in Japan. As far as, no, I was a guy that, I'm going to try to make it no matter what. I was focused more in trying to go and play professional. I had some little issues, at the beginning, because even though back in Puerto Rico, I was a pretty good player as far as hitting. Now, I was a good outfield, but I always admitted that I didn't have a great arm. So scouts didn't see it that way, but then there was one scout. After I signed when I was 20, so that's kind of late for I was in college too, but it was late for a player out of high school. But then I think that after play for many years, I played for the national team, Puerto Rico. I play against the best teams, Cuba, and I put some time and effort, and finally one scout, a famous scout in Puerto Rico, said, "You can play first base." I said, "What?" So I never played first base, but he knew that I was a good hitter. I could run. I was a good runner.
Yeah, you were a triple champion in Japan back in 1989.
Yeah.
The most triple in the league. Is that right?
Yes.
I think.
Yes.
So you ran fast.
Yeah, I was good fast. And in the minor leagues, I had 50 doubles, 50 one year. So my average was like 35 every in every team, before I went to the major league. Yeah, I was a guy who can run the bases, but they always said, "Well, he can't throw." Well, they put him in on third base when I was in Japan, and I make 30 errors. I said, you guys don't put me there, because I was surprised.
Did you talk with the field manager then?
I
I wanna play first base or left field or something like that.
Well, this came from Ushigome-san, that I was a third baseman, and the reason why, when I was in AAA, the third baseman got hurt in spring training. Then the manager said, "Can you do it?" Yeah, I'll try. Okay, good. But then when we went to the season, the guy got hurt, so I played third. Ushigome-san thought that I was a good third baseman. I said, "No, don't." So I went my first year, I played third for the Yokohama, and then Kondo-san at the second year said, "Get out, go right field." That was it. That was it.
So do you have any trouble with communicating with field manager and coaches?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
No.
So Akira-san helped you, or did
Well,
Akira-san help?
he was part. He was, he told me the way of Japanese. So that.
What is his last name, if you remember?
Oh, I was just talking to my wife. I'll send it to Aoki.
Thank you.
Let's go to Google.
Yeah, sounds like he's the one who, be the model of the interpreter.
Well, let me just explain this. He was not like the other guy, the first guy. He knew and said, hey, I'm going to do my job. He wasn't afraid to the organization in the sense of that, because he knew exactly what to do. So that's why he was pretty good.
Okay. So you worked with two interpreters during the Japanese baseball days. 5 years, right?
Yeah, 5 years, yes.
You worked with two interpreters.
In the second year, the first one was let go.
Right. Yeah. And the second one is Akira-san. And
yes,
was there any third one or other guys?
No, there was no other.
Okay. So he interpreted for both you and Pachorek.
Pachorek, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Lowman. No, I'm sorry. Lowman was, no. He was 3 years now. Yeah, Pachorek. Yeah.
During your times, only 2 international players are allowed on the squad. Was that right? Okay.
Yes.
Got it. So, how did your wife adapt to the Japanese culture? She came to Japan, right?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That first time, she was not too happy because I was I went to the major league at that time, and she didn't know much about it. But once he got there, she didn't want to leave in Japan. We had a good life in Japan. We love pretty much food, sightseeing. People loved, especially my oldest son. He was only a year old, yeah. So she loved it. She loved Japan.
Did Akira-san, organization help your wife to adapt to the Japanese, life? Or she was pretty much on her own?
She was on her own, but she had a lot of help from Akira-san as far as help her different positions and different issues. Yeah, but we didn't have any problem. That's the reason why I don't see why so many foreigners, knowing that you can get a good playing in Japan, complaining so much, because it's not the same. So hey, listen. So based on my Puerto Rican heritage, I didn't have any problem changing.
Got it. Okay. So how long did it take for you to feel comfortable and build trust with the interpreter? Is it just a chemistry or take some time?
I think they take both. And then it was hard for me because the first one, Yoshi, he was, I call him nervous wreck. He was very nervous. He wanted to, no, Carlos, come here. So at that time, that's when I realized it's just, I don't think he's the guy for us. But we always respect him.
Got it. Okay. Now I'd like to ask about sports interpreters in general.
Okay.
incorporating your insights as well as the story from other foreign players, what kind of person do you think is best qualified to become a sports interpreter?
Okay.
I mean, what qualities or traits are essential for a sports interpreter?
Okay. Let me say this in Spanish.
Please, please.
Okay, son. Okay. Esto es lo que yo puse aquí. Okay. Es sumamente importante que el intérprete tenga un alto grado de proficiencia en el inglés. Puede ser inglés o otro. Ok. Es ideal si pudiese esa persona vivir al menos unos meses en el país de habla inglesa, USA, ¿okay? Y familiarizarse con las expresiones déjame ver cómo se llama, no me sale, compadre, pero tú entiendes, en el arco del deporte, ¿entiendes? Y a la cultura y a la costumbre. Un intérprete debe de ser un poco relajado o más bien seguro de sí mismo y de su trabajo. Entonces,
自分が思うには、やっぱりいい通訳っていうのは何が必要かっていうのは、いろんな人がいるんですけれども、これは必ずあった方がいいなっていうところを思ったのは、やっぱり言語力ですね。例えば英語だったら英語力の、理解、しっかりできてる人だったりとかですね。あと、もちろんスポーツのことをしっかり分かってる人であったりとか、あとは英語だったら、例えば英語を話す国、場合にはアメリカだったりとかですね。そのアメリカで、その文化を学んだりとかですね、表現の仕方だったりとか、その言葉をしっかり学ぶことが、第一に考えて、やっぱり仕事を考えるという場合は、やっぱり言語力を高めないといけないっていう。そのためにやっぱり国に住んで、文化を学ぶことはすごく大事だなというふうに思ってます。
Okay,
Got it.
Okay, sí, que esta parte aquí que dice que te estaba diciendo familiarizarse con las expresiones idiomáticas. Esa es la palabra, idiomática. Sí,
先ほどちょっとスペイン語で出てこなかった言葉があったんですけれども、僕はもう言いたいことは分かってたんで、それ先ほどはい、表現っていう言葉をですね、僕は使ったので、はい。
Balance or distance? I mean, what do you think is the ideal balance or distance in the relationship between a player and the interpreter? I mean, sometimes the interpreter can take advantage of language skills and sometimes manipulate it, even though he didn't mean it. So what's the ideal balance distance?
I think it's now that you mentioned that, yeah, we do through that. It's the fact that you have to be honest to us. You got to be honest. We're in a different country, and I think that, and I don't want to continue to hit on my first guy, it's the fact that he wasn't explaining what we were trying to tell him, and that was a conflict of interest.
Mm-hmm.
So and that's the reason why most of the players, foreigners, didn't like some of these interpreters because they were not. I think it was more of they wanted to tell the organization something positive, but in reality, they said, this is not what we told you to do. Explain. So that's the reason why, that's probably the big issue.
Yeah, sandwich man.
It's a sandwich man.
Yeah. They are in a tough position, though.
Yes, it is. And I understand that.
Got it. Okay, now let me ask you a few more questions to delve deeper into the topic. Cultural difference. When you first came to Japan, were there any cultural difference or challenges that your interpreter helped you navigate? Can you share a memorable experience related to that?
Yes, I did with my second one. The first one didn't tell us. He didn't tell us nothing, pretty much.
Okay.
It was just it's what I call it was like a dog going, always right next to you, and not able to, expressing what we wanted to you. Akira-san was more of a guiding us through the last 3 years or 4 years to us, to help telling us what to do or not to do, what the Japanese system is. So we were already prepared leaving Puerto Rico to Japan, but Akira-san was the guy who told us pretty much everything. Because, and one thing, it's not that he didn't like his country, but he said, I'm going to do my job, whether they like it or not, but I'm going to express. He knew exactly what to do because of a foreigner. He was completely, and you see this now here in the U.S. The interpreters that they're getting, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. Major League, yeah.
Okay. Have you ever had a funny or unexpected moment, something like a lost in translation thing? Not just with the interpreter, in Japanese daily life, in the clubhouse, on the field, off the field.
I was in the clubhouse. I was what do you call it? A happy guy. Yeah, I was kind of like, a comedian.
Oh, Kato-san.
Kato-san and most of these players, they love it because, they thought I was crazy. But I think that's what makes it better. I mean, I went there with no regret. I went to Japan to hit, to make money for my family, and just getting to another country, and it was incredible for us. You just have to prepare yourself. How to get.
Did you try to learn Japanese during your time here?
Hi. Yes, that's it's there was a couple of things that I remember, and that's similar to Japan, like casa.
Umbrella.
Yeah, but casa is house in Spanish. And there was other, ajo. I learned so much. Yeah.
はニンニクのことですね。
ありがとうね。Thank you.
Oh, yeah, I heard that. Oh my goodness.
Carlos, there's another one that they say "onaka suita" means like if you go to Spanish, say "onaka suita." That's the way that many people learn that. あとですね、スペイン語でですね、ウナカシータっていうのは、小さい建物、あるいは、一軒家ですね、のことで、ウナカシータって言うんですよ。これは日本語にしたらですね、お腹すいたっていう。だから、結構そういう、聞いて覚える人って多いですよね。やっぱりちょっと似てるっていう言葉があるので、それを聞いて覚える人もいるんですよね。だから、お腹すいたって言って、スペイン語だったら、お腹すいただって、それで覚える。
Got it. Got it. Okay, Mr. Ponce, two more questions. What advice would you give to aspiring sports interpreters who want to work with professional athletes? Is there something unique about working in sports compared to other fields?
I feel that, it's a blessing for interpreters. It depends on the people that they work for. It is, for me, it's a blessing in the sky. The more, you can help, they can help each other, whether you work with, different athletes or not. But but definitely you have to be focused on being, let me see how to tell them. You have to be loyal pretty much. That part, for both sides. You have to be someone that you can trust, because you can say something that you really didn't say nothing, and then it makes a big issue out of it. Honesty probably is the one that comes to me. Yeah.
Okay, got the final question. Looking back, is there one moment where your interpreter truly stood out to you, either during a game or off the field?
Yes, I did.
Give me one.
At that, my interpreter, my second interpreter, Akira-san, he stood up for me because there was a issue on the field, and they were blaming me for something, and he stood up and said, no. He completely changed that. So that's the reason why, we like him so much, because he knew his position as an interpreter.
As a sandwich man.
Exactly. It was not. So he pretty much sometimes he got a lot of issues with the office.
So he took the heat for you.
Yes.
Good, great story. Thank you, Mr. Ponce, for sharing your invaluable insights today. Your experience shed light on the critical role interpreters play in professional baseball. To all our participants, I hope you found today's discussion inspiring and insightful. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you at future webinars. And back to Yamada-san.
Yeah.
はい、ありがとうございます。
Thank you, Mr. Ponce, so
Thank
much.
you. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. It
My
was a pleasure. It was an absolute honor.
Okay. ありがとう。
ありがとうございます。
はい、
ケイさん、
ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
一つ質問が来ているので、そちら回答いただくことは可能でしょうか。
ケイさん、interpret for us, please.
Was there anything that you wanted the interpreter to improve? Did you make any request to him?
Oh, maybe the first interpreter, I guess. Or maybe the second interpreter.
Well, the first one, yeah. To be honest and not to change what we were telling him.
That's why he was let go.
Exactly.
Right.
はい。ありがとうございます。
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Are you going to play golf after this?
Me? No, I'm not.
Okay.
But I live across the golf course out here.
Oh, which part of the Florida? Actually, I lived in Orlando for 4 years.
Oh yeah, that's where my brothers and sisters live. And now at that location there, it's loaded with Puerto Ricans. Over 1 million. So they don't need me. So I stay down in West Palm Beach.
Oh, you are in the West Palm Beach.
I'm in the West Palm.
Beautiful area.
Yeah, exactly. So they all live there. I live here with my wife, And pretty soon we're going to have our kids coming here for Christmas.
Oh, beautiful.
That's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Have a good,
And-
nice holiday season.
Okay. Ok. Por favor, cuando termine, les puede hablar con él sobre todo.
Okay.
So, pues, gracias. Thank you very much. Arigato.
Thank you.
Arigato. Masta.
ありがとうございました。
レオさんも
はい
ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございます。
Bye bye.
バイバイ。
はい。
はい
では、以上でトークセッションは終了とさせていただきます。ポンセさん、レオさん、小林さん、ありがとうございました
ありがとうご。ざいました。